This Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop Convention and Ranger Stop and Pop. Have you ever wanted to see all your favorite Power Rangers together in one epic convention? Go to Ranger Stop! Ranger Stop and Pop! June 10th through 12th, 2022. Atlanta, Georgia. Ranger Stop 8, November 11th to the 13th, 2022, Orlando, Florida. Get your tickets now.
When there's something strange in the neighborhood, who do you call? Amalia. If there's something weird.
You can't play nostalgia like that. Come on now.
Amalia, 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 Amalia. Hey guys, welcome to not the Writer Time podcast. This is Ranger Podcast Live. I'm just so used to having Writer Time happen all the time, but now we're live with Ranger Podcast Live. We're doing Power Rangers Dino Fury season 2, episode 9, also known as.
Such a serious title.
Yeah, not to be confused with that Shadow the Hedgehog level, The Haunt, which is completely different. One thing I did notice is that both the titles for this episode and that level of Shadow the Hedgehog have nothing to do with the actual level / episode because there's no actual hunting going on here.
No.
Unless you're going to do some really weird wordplay about it. Anyways, I'm Mike, aka Time Rider Zero, and with me, my dance partner is.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jacqueline, aka Crystal Butterfly, your newest hostess with the mostest. I do have to give a very quick disclaimer. There is a severe thunderstorm warning where I live. So if I disappear, the Void Queen did not kidnap me. I promise you. Mother Nature did. She took me out.
Yeah, well, we all know that when the storm grows and the waters flow, gotta hear the call. With speed of the wind and strike like thunder. Okay, but enough Ninja Storm references. Like that as fun as that season was, we do have a different season to discuss today.
Ninja Storm was a lot of fun.
Dino Fury. Yeah, it felt like a Teen Nick comedy, to be honest.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, like Zoe 101 or Drake and Josh too soon. But yeah, maybe we should do a retrospective on some of the Disney seasons.
I wouldn't mind that at all. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
No.
So, let's talk about this episode, The Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a hunt to almost the same capacity as that Cyclops episode of Mystic Force, again, Disney season, where you have a one-eyed villain who's capturing the Rangers in a single dimension. But I find the timing of this episode being released to be very interesting because because this is after the partnership with Nickelodeon ended, and yet there's a certain character from a certain other Nickelodeon show that we do prominently notice in this episode. My cabbages! What were your thoughts when during that Jane sequence where she knocked over that cabbage cart and the guy shouted "My cabbages"?
I was just like, okay, is it me or does Jane find a new way to be a klutz in every episode? Wow. And don't get me wrong, I have klutz attacks. I've had them since I was 7 years old. But each episode, it's a new way to trip and fall over and break stuff or look silly, or even towards the end where I'll save you, and they're about to catch a ghost drone. It wasn't even a convincing one when they take it out.
Yeah, for me, it's I find it interesting, like with the whole Ben and Betty thing. It's like there comes in a way where it's like, why don't you guys just become Power Rangers? Like all you got to do is just bulldoze to the bad guys, being yourselves, and then you're just comedy style will just somehow destroy all the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jane, it's like she's just a comedic for the sake of being comedic, and thinking back to like the very first episode she showed up in, it's kind of weird that you're trying to figure out like is she kind of like a very specific type of boss character, or is she a very comic relief character?
She's a very gullible one, because when Amelia and company tell her, we looked but we couldn't find it. Oh, okay. No probing questions. No, where did you look? Where did you go? Who did you talk to? And that's a media company.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah. And then ta-da, the magician shows up, and so does the ghost.
Yeah, and I do find it and again, I do appreciate the Avatar: The Last Airbender reference, but the time just feels really weird considering that this is after the partnership with Nickelodeon ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird. But again, like when we do see the ghost, I'm like, it's a hologram. Like first time I saw the episode, I'm like, it's a hologram. I could tell. Yeah. Like here's the thing. Much like Ollie, I am a very skeptical, scientific-minded person, but unlike Ollie, more like Amelia, I do try to be open-minded about things. But honestly, I like magic shows because of my scientific-mindedness. Because I don't know if you know this about Harry Houdini. For those of you in the audience who don't know the history of Harry Houdini, like he spent his career as a stage magician also debunking psychics. And we actually talked about this in an earlier episode of the show, but yeah, so like he was like the original Scooby-Doo, where like whenever there was like a fake psychic, like saying that they could talk to ghosts or make illusions of ghosts, he would always debunk them. And it's part of his thing as a magician. It's like he's like trying to break the limits of the human mind, where like what we see is weirdly impossible is actually possible through human creativity. And growing up, loving stage magic, I have come to find that I love watching magic shows and trying to figure out how they do their magic tricks. Needless to say, one of my favorite magicians present day is Val Valentino, because he had a certain show on Fox called Breaking the Magician's Code, Magic's Greatest Secrets Finally Revealed, where he played a master magician, and he reveals how certain magic tricks are done, like escaping from a wood chipper, or avoid getting beheaded by a guillotine, or being frozen for a week in an ice block. And like those were like really fun to watch.
If we're going to start talking magicians and we're on a Power Ranger show, I got to throw this in there. There's this old school Princess Tanko. That was a very limited Saban series. I think it only went for 13 episodes. It was a cartoon show in the similar animation style of Hasbro, Gem, G.I. Joe, Transformers. But at the end of the show, there was always a magic trick. And she would always teach like the simple ones, like how to make pepper move in water or how to hold water in a glass. I still remember most of it.
Wow. Hey, maybe on the Buttery show, we could do a retrospective on it. But I would have to actually watch it.
It's on YouTube, all the episodes. They're not hard to find.
Yeah, because it's been a while. Like I remember Peter Pan and the Pirates, but I don't remember watching all the individual episodes. I have to rewatch those. It was weird, that one episode where he became an adult. But yeah, so me being a fan of magic, I look at that ghost and I'm like, yeah, that's all around. I can tell. And how convenient that the person being attacked by the hologram is a magician. I'm like,
yeah. A magician. He technically didn't perform any magic.
You're right. He like the one trick he was being highlighted on Buzz Blast for.
And Aeon's like, "What's my card?" And he's like, "You broke my toy. I'm out of here." He didn't even finish it.
Yeah. Yeah. So but because people saw ghosts, that means Jane, being the 1980s action movie police chief that she is, okay, you Buzz Blast employees have 24 hours to figure out how that ghost is happening, or the mayor will have my head.
Or better yet, how many people in that building are actually employees? I bet maybe about 10%. Because that building just seems to let everybody in.
All people there, like only like about half of them are doing any actual work.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. We're only focusing on the ones that are actual Rangers. Amelia and Javi. But now that I think about it, why are the other 4 Rangers always loitering around and getting jobs?
They don't work there.
Yeah, she may as well hook all 6 of them up with a job there. Okay, maybe 5 of them because Izzy's still a minor, but
she could intern.
Yeah, she could be an unpaid intern, or maybe the park warden could just sign an I-5 form to have a consensual minor have a part-time job. Yes, there are federal documents. There are federal documents that would allow minors to work with.
Yeah, I had them when I was 15.
Yeah. It's just very hard to get approval, from the government, because the less I say about politics, the better. Anyways, so
this isn't that kind of show, guys. I'm sorry.
Amelia and Ollie are on the case. What are your thoughts on the 2 of them specifically being the ones to do the job?
Amelia was kind of a duh. And I expected Ollie to kind of just go, okay, I want to do this because I want to prove this is BS. Mm-hmm. I'm going to prove once and for all to this girl that ghosts do not exist. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I sense a pairing between those 2 in a romantic sense, because there's a smile at the end where they both express how they enjoy working with each other. Oh, I like that. You see that hashtag? I like it. Nice work.
I'll say this much. I'll say it again, just like I said it 2 episodes ago. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite episodes of Ninja, which is the Japanese version of Ninja Steel, is the episode where everyone thought that the Pink Ranger was scared of ghosts, so they try to scare her, but turns out she's actually excited by the idea of ghosts because she wants to scientifically verify whether or not they're real and how they occur if they are. Because you got the pop idol ninja, you got the magician ninja, and then you have the scientist ninja. And I like the idea of a scientist ninja.
Oh, why?
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
So that season, the Pink Ranger was my favorite, and let's see. But yeah, and I love that Ollie's
throughout the whole episode too. Noticed.
So when in regards to that earlier episode with that professor, he didn't just regress back to jerkface Ollie who wouldn't listen. It's like, yeah, I will open-mindedly help you. I do not agree with your conclusion, but I will cooperatively go through the scientific process of helping you figure out what the correct answer to this phenomenon is. And I'm like, finally, Ollie acting like a real scientist. I waited 2 seasons for this. Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about the monster of the day. And it's not just a monster of the day, it's a monster of the month. Snag Eye. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, I find it interesting. He was actually featured in the end credits throughout every episode of season 2. Yet this is the one show where he's actually featured as a monster. Mm-hmm. I don't know why Netflix or Nickelodeon, whoever made the call, decided to do that. It's almost not fair. You're teasing a bad guy, a pretty powerful one at that, throughout every single episode, and you wait until almost the end of the first part to bring him out.
Well, to be fair, he did appear towards episode 30 of the Japanese counterpart, and the Sentai, they're usually 50 episodes as opposed to 20 or 45 episodes. actually Power Rangers is more at most like usually 40 episodes.
Mhm.
After what's it called? After season 5, like all the episodes are like about 40 episodes, and then they just kept going less. And then Neo Saban, you got 2 half seasons with 20 episodes each,
Mhm.
but I still kind of combine them into 40 episodes. But yeah, like so it's like you're cutting 10 episodes and you're trying to split those seasons into half seasons. So pacing's always been an issue with the way Nickelodeon's been doing things, but
Mhm.
Netflix is basically picking up the pieces from what's left effectively because like we were like midway through Dino Fury when Netflix bought the exclusive
Mhm.
broadcast rights. By the way, Netflix, this is a perfectly good opportunity to renew your contract with Shout Factory to bring back all the other seasons. Just saying.
We don't make plugs in this show. We don't make requests. No, 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 not at all. Netflix, do it. Renew the contract.
And while you're at it, can we also get Mystic Knight Tyrannog and the Bondsmats writers, cringy as it is, maybe talk to Steve Wang about making a legal official stream broadcast of Dragon Knight, and heck, let's get Deke involved and bring back Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad and
Oh,
all of our other favorite. But yes, but back to topic. The new Snag Guy does remind me of the Cyclops from Mystic Force, where you got this one-eyed villain who can capture the Rangers into like a pocket dimension, and it's down to the Red Ranger who has to do something he doesn't want to in order to get a battleizer. Oh my
Yeah.
god! I just realized these 2 episodes have more in common than I thought they did.
I mean, Zato, to me, he just came out as pissed off the whole episode. He even screamed at Void Knight at one point. And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
If a bad guy tormented you for almost 2 complete seasons,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden he does a 180 and turns good, would you believe him? Probably not.
Probably
Even
not.
if he's dressed like
Skeptical and hesitant, but I would still not know what my options were. But
Mhm.
I do love that Javi did stand up to him because I feel like Javi, in a sense, is like the heart of the show, where it's like
Well, of
he's
course,
the one who
former
sees
boy
the
band
best.
member. You didn't know that?
Wait, what?
The actor Chance Perez, I remember seeing him on a reality show a few years ago about making a boy band, and he got picked out of the show. I don't think the boy band that came out of the collective group lasted very long, but it makes sense to put a person with actual musical talent in a ranger role. Yeah, that's going to be the heart of the show right there.
Yeah, but I mean, like there have been other Rangers in the past with musical talent that like showed that were not the heart of the team,
Mhm.
but like even if like whatever Chance Perez's background is outside of Power Rangers, which by the way, best of luck to you, Chance. Just saying, like I love that his
You can tell he's
character
a fan, huh?
does show like all the heart and empathy of the show. Like he's always like supportive of Izzy, even if it's to her detriment. He's always trying to support everyone else. He tried to find those gloves for God, I'm blanking on her name. The dinosaur. Why am I blanking out on her name right now? Salon.
Mhm.
And yeah, the fact that he stands up to Zato in this episode, I just love that because, as I mentioned even last week, I would have loved if there was like a civil war between the Rangers because of the whole Ion Zato argument, and Avi would be the first person to defect to Ion's side because one, you could use the stock footage of the Black and Gold Rangers teaming up to make the Spinosaurus combination, but also, which actually I have right over there, right over there on the other side of my computer. in that formation. But also because like I feel like he would be the first person to like hear out what other people have to say, and I like that about Javi. So I think like that's probably my favorite part. One of my two most favorite parts of the episode.
Yeah. I mean, another thing. So Void Knight tries to explain himself to the Rangers. In addition to, saying, hey, I'm not your enemy anymore, he actually gives a backstory in this episode about his wife and how he needed the Sporix to save her. Now, granted, risking the safety of an entire planet to save one person isn't exactly the most logical thing, but you see emotion on all of the other Rangers' faces once they find out his backstory, and Zato just looks pissed off. Like, oh, hell no, you're not going to tell me that and expect me to feel sorry for you.
And he's like, even if that was true, why didn't you tell us since the first episode?
Exactly.
And of course, you would hear voice in the background saying, Zato would be excellent to add to that TV scenes. But yeah, and I do like that he finally does, thanks to Javi, he does finally learn to get along with Tarek. That's Void Knight's actual name. And also Tarek finally gets a better outfit. Or better loosely.
Lasts very long. He gets kidnapped.
Yeah. Like he has like a leather vest to hide that god awful He-Man look.
He-Man cosplay, I have the power.
I have the fashion goddess.
Oh my god, and I'm wearing a He-Man style shirt right now.
And also, like, what's with the medals he has, like, on his vest? It's like, are you trying to look like you're like from freaking Sex Pistols or something? It's the name of a band, okay? I'm not saying anything inappropriate.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he
Next
he
time
does
that
look like
someone's watching, say earmuffs or something. Give these kids a cue.
Yeah. But yeah, but yeah, he looks like he's like trying to replicate a certain British rock band I just named through use of random Hot Topic merchandise. I'm never gonna get over his outfits. I love the actor playing him because not only did he play Void Knight, because Mr. Freeze, I got the purple hoodie and everything, but also he played one of my favorite main villains in Jungle Fury. Dino Fury, Jungle Fury. But I will never stop making fun of the outfits. I'm sorry. You're asking too much of me otherwise.
Maybe he came from the house of Mugatu fashion. I don't know. It is laughable, regardless.
But yes, he does give a battleizer key to Zato, and we get a shiny new paladin armor, which is awesome. In the Japanese version, he had to die for that to happen, but I'm glad he's still alive.
He lives.
Only to heel turn in the next episode.
Oh my god.
But yeah. So by the way, what are your thoughts on the new battleizer and the fight scene?
I love it. Now, one thing about the fight scene, this is one of the episodes where they didn't necessarily have to call on the Zords to beat him. Zato makes quick work out of him once he's in Dino Knight mode, and Snagai, while he's exploding, mind you, because Zato makes quick work of this guy in like a matter of minutes, professes his unyielding loyalty to Void Queen. To me, I just got a smidge of a romantic vibe on that. So maybe Tarek has a little bit more to worry about than he realizes. Like we're entering soap opera territory when you start bringing in wives and histories and,
Yeah, I'll say this: in the Japanese version, Snagai did have a secret that he's been hiding.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm not gonna say what it is because that secret probably probably won't be adapted in the remaining 11 episodes of the show. But I wonder if this American or Kiwi, whichever way you prefer to say it, version of Snag Eye. I'm curious, like, if he also has a secret. Maybe not the same secret as his counterpart, but
Hmm.
maybe a secret that might shake things up moving forward in the show.
Maybe Tarek knows what it is, and that comes out later.
Maybe. Who knows? I mean, obviously, I'm not Ryan, where like I know everything that's gonna happen beforehand.
Ryan,
I'm just,
you're watching this.
I'm just really good at guessing things and then turning out to be right, which hurts a lot of, which makes a lot of people very annoyed with me. Like, for example, like when Ryan and I went to see the Batman, like I guessed every riddle correctly, like in like 2 seconds.
They weren't that hard, to be fair.
I know. Or like, and like I still have never seen the movie Encanto, and Leo tried to show me the song We Don't Talk About Bruno. I'm like, wait, I'm guessing that Bruno is actually. He's like, God damn it, Mike! Stop guessing these correctly and actually watch the movie.
My partner does the same thing. It's fine.
But yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the ending of the episode?
I mean, the moral of the episode, apart from the god-awful magician, was everyone can change. It's possible. You might get kidnapped by the Boy Queen for doing it, but you can do a 180. You can become a better person. They seemed way too calm about how the battle ended and then going back to Buzz Blast. Like, you just saw someone that tried to help you get kidnapped by probably a really well-dressed bad woman. So, and they asked questions. So that was a good thing. But it was just like, okay, it transitioned way too fast. And I know it's a kid's show. But if we go back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when stuff got bad in the 90s show, that was a 3-4 episode arc right there. They let the whole thing
like you would have, you know, Jason, Zach, and Kimberly make like a look of concern, and then freeze frame to be continued with the foreboding. Dun, dun. And then cute theme song. You know, one thing I miss about, okay, like season 1 of Power Rangers wasn't the best season, but I do miss the end credits, like the way they would show those random clips with that remix of the theme song. Something about it just felt nice, you know.
It did. If we're going to talk end credits, I got to throw in RPM. The way they left cliffhangers throughout the end credits on most of the episodes, it made you want to watch
they just
more.
Like all up in your face, like RPM.
It gave you something to look forward to. It allowed the viewer to start to put the pieces together, come up with theories, and then like you see if they're right on the next episode.
Yeah. No, RPM is a classic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so people are like weirded out that I think that my favorite season is Jungle Fury, because it's like, wait, how's it Jungle Fury when RPM is like literally the next season? Like, I'm not saying RPM's not a good season. It's a phenomenal season. But the thing is, I've rewatched it probably more than any other Disney season. Jungle Fury is a nice breath of fresh air with some. It's not quite as chill as Ninja Storm, but it's also not quite as intense as RPM. But it still has a nice middle, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it just reinforces my love for pizza and kung fu.
All you have to do is watch an old school Ninja Turtles movie to reignite the love of pizza. I mean, come on. It's consistent throughout all 3 movies.
Yeah. Did they even make pizza in the 3rd one? Like while they were in the feudal Japan? Because that would have been funny.
They tried to make pizza, but they did terrible at it. Became a
imagine if they pulled a Dr. Stone where they try to make pizza dough out of foxtail millet.
Oh my god.
Speaking of which, I need to get me some cauliflower. Okay. So, in conclusion, a likes, dislikes score out of 10. Go.
I'm gonna say 7.5 because of the transition parts. A lot of that didn't make sense to me. Also, okay, I'm gonna try and form this as best as I can. So it doesn't make sense to me to wait this long to tell your side of the story, Void Knight, and explain why you were here, why you were after the sporks, why you put the whole planet in jeopardy. And not long after you tell your story, poof, you're gone. And your bad fashion sense with it. So
Okay. I would have to say, I'm in the same boat. Like, I would give it like a low 8 because I did like the episode, but there were a lot of flaws with it. I mean, I like the villain. I did like the new Battleizer. I do like that Tarek briefly became a good guy. Here's the
that's
thing.
not going to last long. We know that.
One, I wish he was a good guy longer, where you actually see all 7 Rangers together. And I would have liked his sacrifice to have been a little bit more, to have a little bit more weight to it, rather than just he just randomly gets kidnapped. No,
that's what I mean about the transitions. The way that they did it.
Yeah. See, like. And again, I hate having to compare it to Ryu Soldier, but again, like Ryu Soldier, Void Knight was supposed to be the original Red Ranger, but he refused and went off on his own journey. So basically, the actual Red Ranger is sort of like his little brother, and the Void Knight armor, like it controls your body, like you have no control over it. And it took a lot for him to actually regain control, and then you have one episode where like all 7 of them are actually a team together, and it looks awesome. And then he dies, and then his soul is turned into his Battleizer. But like, so I feel like we should have had more episodes where Tarek and Zato have to learn to work together and trust each other. Again, I don't want to compare it to the Sentai, but I feel like just as a general storytelling thing, like I feel like that just worked better than just randomly just losing your power and then just handing it over and then getting kidnapped. It makes the Battleizer feel like it wasn't really earned.
Yeah.
Like I remember in Wild Force, Cole had to risk his friends dying to get his Battleizer. In Lost Galaxy, Corone had to overcome her past as astronomer. Even Time Force, which was probably one of the weakest Battleizer episodes, like he still had to fight a powerful enemy and like show that he had the fortitude to have the power of the White Knight to get the Red Battle Force armor. So like I like it when the Battleizers are actually earned, and it just did not feel earned this time around. And they could have made it earned. Like maybe like if he finally learned to accept Tarek as an ally first, that would have been better. And as much as I love the idea of Ollie and Amelia working together, finally, like as good friends and possibly as a romantic thing, I feel like it didn't work in this episode. I feel like it should have been a separate plot. And because it felt like it was just a throwaway thing just to give an excuse to tell Zato, hey, look, Ollie changed. Maybe Tarek could have changed too. But if anything, make the whole Ollie and Amelia thing looking for a ghost, make that a 2-part episode, and then in the second part episode they uncover something wholly separate from the ghost that would result in them finding the Battleizer. Just some ideas.
Okay, so what y'all just heard, there's going to be a fan fiction movie coming out of this. I swear. Watch, someone's going to get the idea from watching this, and they're going to do it, and they're going to have us to thank for it.
It's a thankless job though. But we got to do it.
Gotta do it.
So off to the comments.
What begin? What begin?
Okay, Gabutira Torin says, I give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
And happy Father's Day, everyone.
Happy
Yes.
Father's Day to
Yeah.
you.
Leo, Mike, if y'all can hear me, happy Father's Day. You know, good luck with, taking care of your kids. You know, it's Leo's first Father's Day, so, make the
Aww.
most of it. Let's see. It seems like Sato have PTSD and still work in his original team did was undone and happening again on a new planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Weird no earning battleizer moment. Thank you for agreeing with me on this one. Yeah, it's like, like I like it when the battleizers are earned. Hey, I feel like Scott from RPM deserved a battleizer more than Zato did. And that season he didn't need a battleizer, but I'm pretty sure he would come up with some kind of Go on Wings themed battleizer where he would use a grip morpher, just like that's recolored red, because in the Disney era, all the battleizers are just like a red repaint of the 6th Ranger's morpher. Like freaking you got the break morpher for Jack. You got the grip phone for Nick, and you did have the go-go changer repainted red for Max. So it's like lazy, yeah, but hey, it could be worse. At least it's not a red repaint of the Void Knight shield or sword. So
yeah, good point.
Anyways, so where can they find you, my lovely co-host?
You can find me on Instagram at Jacqueline Amira, altogether lower letters. And what about you, my friend?
You could find me on Instagram at Boken_Kawato. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKawato. And yes, right after this podcast, I am going to be making sure.
Tell him.
I am going to be making sure my GameCube works right now, so I could a little bit later today get started on playing Sonic Heroes, because I already beat Chaotic Story. I'm halfway through Dark Story. I want to beat through the whole game on Twitch and then get started on Shadow the Hedgehog, which I know all of you are looking forward to having me do, because that game is torture, because you have to play Westopolis 326 times. I won't complete all 326 stories. I'm just going to do the basic 10, get all the earrings, and then do the final rush. That's it. I'm not the completionist. I don't have a giant beard. But yes, so please stay tuned for that. And as for Rider Time Podcast, if you've been paying attention to our Instagram and Facebook, yes, I moved Rider Time Podcast. Originally it was supposed to be today, but I'm moving it to Monday so that everyone can enjoy their weekends, and then I could have Mike come back for that. But this doesn't mean I'm delaying the episode 39 and 40 review, which will be later next week. So we're basically doing 2 episodes reviewing in the same week, just not back to back. Just saying, because this week I intend to be fully cut up with Revice, and then the week after episode 41 airs, we review episode 41. Episode 42 airs, we review episode 42. And yes,
okay.
But yes, so be sure to check out our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Be sure to subscribe, ding the bell icons, because all those sporks beasts want to change the YouTube algorithm all the time. And of course, be sure and yes, if you like Kamen Rider, be sure to watch me and Mike review, or rather discuss Kamen Rider Revice. Coming soon, me and Clement are going to be doing a discussion on Gokaiger 10 years later. And yes, I do plan on helping him catch up with Zenkaiger and Dawn Brothers, which, by the way, I love Dawn Brothers. So that show is really fun. Dun, dun. But yes, and of course, we got this show. And be sure to check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we have interviewed multiple voice actors, including Dan, who did the voice of Zanaku, as well as Roy Foker in Macross. And of course, be sure to, and there's plenty of other stuff on that YouTube channel. And most recently, we did a review of the movie Lightyear. So be sure to check that out.
In other words, stick around, kids. This is going to be fun. I promise.
Yeah. We have a lot of content on both channels, so be sure to check them out. And until then, enjoy your Father's Day, and make sure your wives don't kidnap you to take over the world. Bye.
Bye-bye.